Paris. Yesterday we were
I need
handling what the Paris are.
What?
Yesterday we were handling. Yesterday we were handling what are the we know that the tefillah is the Prochem and the Shoshanim and all these Sachen. What is the Paris? What are the Paris?
The Rebbe says Oisen Ritzon Yishon Makom.
That's one place. And
in the other place he says Kasha Shleimus Gesechel B'Shleimus.
Right.
Then making the Paris.
It's Megadol.
Yeah, it's Megadol. Oh, it's very good.
So what are the?
So one second. So it's very good. Question 2. Let's just review. Question 1 is how do I make echad? What's my avodah? How do I make echad for my tefillah? What does the Rebbe want from me? Question number 2 is the Rebbe talks throughout Sif Aleph, Beis, Gimel, Daled, the inyan of Gidul, that the sod that you're being megadol. So what is Shalom Aleichem? Who's this gentleman?
This man.
Shalom Aleichem. What's your name? Nachman Fried. Nice to meet you. So, question 2, Shalom, I need you. This is because I need I'm sure you're gonna enlighten us.
Shalom, we're not allowed to leave.
Yeah, you can leave. I need you. We're trying to make this to Chabura. So that's what we're trying to do. So today, last week, Yossi said, today I don't want to learn inside because I think we should talk about the questions that everybody has. And something hit me that I want to share very, very much. And I think that the questions that are being asked, I hope Hashem will give me the expression of being able to, because I was distracted since this revelation hit me this morning. But I've been distracted. And I don't know if I'm there, and I've had a lot of challenges since. So, but you're getting me back there. So the question one was that how do I make echad for my tefillah? What do I do? What do I do with the echad? Second question was the Rebbe talks about oisem Paris, and what is the Paris? Is the Paris has to do with growth, and the Rebbe continuously uses the word gadol and gedalim b'sham, and he's using the union of growth. Anybody else with another question? Another question that's bothering you in the Torah, that mamash you feel stuck. I felt stuck in this Torah. I'm telling you from the beginning, because in the beginning it seemed like the Rebbe is talking about everything in every sif is something that's not relevant to my day-to-day moments, and it cannot be. How is it possible that the Rebbe is not talking to me on something that I'm being challenged every second of the day? We know in every Torah that you find that, and here it seems like really this Torah is all about the Baal HaSoda. And we know it can be, because the Rebbe can't be talking about just the Baal HaSoda and telling me about all the things about the Baal HaSoda without bringing it back to me. So we all said theories. We said that the Rebbe is telling us that we're all the Baal HaSoda, and what is HaSoda? The Dibur is HaSoda, and we're going to get back to these things, but still, and another big thing was Sif Aleph, Beis, Gimel, Daled. There seem like 3 or 4 different concepts that are really unrelated. If you talk about the Soda, and then you're talking about the state Seifim, state Boichim, and then you're talking about the Dibura Tefillah, the 2 motions of Tefillah, and the Echad of Tefillah, and then the Echad of Yisurim, and the Re'iyah, and then the Yisurim that they get even bigger, and then the Bittul and the Ratzav Yishayv, they all sound like it's. I know you're connecting it, but what's the connection? What's the unified? Another question that was bothering, that I think we mentioned it one of the times that we had, what's the kesher between the Yisurim and the Diburim? What's the kesher between Yisurim and Diburim? They both need echad, and if they're really echad, then they have to be echad. Then Yisurim and Diburim have to be echad, because if you want to say there's echad in Yisurim and echad in Diburim, then there's no echad. Then it's 2. There has to be that the Yisurim and the Diburim are echad. How? Where?
It's like the Yisurim bring you to echad. If you take it to Simcha.
The Yisurim bring you to echad, but the Diburim it seems like it's a different avodah of echad. And so you could say maybe I have to do bittul in the tefillah, and so the mechanics are the same. If it's bittul and ratzav v'shoyv, but the Rebbe doesn't say that. The Rebbe is not saying that. Why? Why isn't the Rebbe saying that?
Doesn't it sound like Yisurim is at the beginning and Diburim is more towards the end?
Maybe, perhaps. So bring it up. Bring it. So let me bring a third. Anybody have anything else, like a question that's bothering them in the Torah, they feel stuck with? No, Lamaharan.
Isn't tefillah a form of bittul? One of the ways to do bittul is through tefillah.
Okay, let's say. I'm not saying no, but let's say it is. So
that's the type of bittul. Meaning,
so what does that have to do with Yisurim? I'm using the same mechanics, but I'm doing two different echods. I need to find Yidibur and Yisurim to be one in order to come to real echod. When we say echod, that means everything is echod. Right? So you tell me two avoiders. The Rebbe's giving me two avoiders. One thing, when you feel pain, go to bittul. Guess what? You're going to feel more pain, which we need to understand that in itself. Rebbe's telling me, yeah, you feel pain. You know what you do? You go to bittul. You know what happens? You're going to feel more pain. And guess what? It's never going away. It converts to tzimoin, and then you get his chachus Torah. So yeah, great remedy. Thank you, Rebbe. That's the remedy. The remedy is to feel more pain.
Why not?
Why? Yeah. So why don't I go to my comfort zone? 1 second, I'll answer you why not.
Guy gets cancer.
Yeah.
That's pain. So he goes to chemo, which gives him more pain, and then it gets better, right?
Goes away.
So there's a two-step process.
Who says
you go through pain, you go through bittul, from that you come back.
But the Rebbe doesn't say that the pain goes away. Chemo heals you. Let's say. It doesn't, but let's say it does. But chemo heals you. Is there a healing? I have pain. I want to be healed. I'm going to the doctor and I want to get healed. So the doctor's telling me, here, I'm going to give you medicine. For a moment, you're going to feel comfort. I'm going to give you distraction. You're going to go into the place of bittul. You're going to feel healed. But when it comes back, the pain is going to be intensified twofold. But don't worry. Afterwards, it's going to cool down. Is it going to cool down less than the first time?
Imagine.
Why do I need to go through this process? Why can't I go straight to the place of tzimoin? What if that's the tachlis, eschachus Torah? So why do I need to go bittul back rishima? Why do I need to go?
Because to get to tzimoin, you have to go through bittul.
Okay, I understand the mechanics of it, but that's the remedy. You're giving me a remedy. If you want to say the Rebbe is talking to my Yisurim, right? The remedy. I'm very good with chazuda hayalma. With that comfort zone, I don't feel pain. I don't. 1 second, but I don't feel pain. I don't feel pain. You're telling me to go spiritual, be bittul, and feel pain, and guess what? You're gonna go away, and you're gonna feel more pain. You're saying good, by the way. I'm not. But I'm trying to be mechaded. I'm not saying you're actually saying the right thing. 100% we need to go to that place because that's the way of elevation. But why? And how does it fit with Sif Beis and Sif Gimel? And where's the connection to it? Of course, it's a simple answer, but understand the kasha. The kasha should be murdered. Yeah, you would tell me, yeah, I don't want to hear that. I'm stuck b'chazud hayam. And l'chayra, that's the pain. Well, I'm already telling you to tell it. But l'chayra, okay, we'll get to it. 1 second. Let's leave this for a second. We'll go to another question. I want to bring up two more questions. What?
You have to make the Yisurim and the Tzimayim Achad also. And once that's Achad, then it's Achad it's a Tzimayim for the Torah and everything's Achad.
Right, but why do I need to go through the process? Why can Al Kain Nitva B'Teva Adam? The Rebbe said that when the Kishachoytchen is Ever, Soiger Seinayim, and he's and Afal Pi, the Rebbe says afterwards, Afal Pi she'odam ein yodea, nefesh yedas. It's good enough. My nefesh knows this. I don't want to know this. Why do I need this das? What's the...
That's the kind of that you get to Rishima, though, the second part.
What?
Says that you have Rishima. Because each time you come down, you still have a ratio from that original Madrega. So that doesn't, over time, build. And then in this world also, the pain when you get
Beautiful.
Yisurim doesn't get less.
You said something really, really nice. I don't think you understand what you said because you're saying you're saying a thing, but you're saying a very beautiful thing. Say it again. Say again what you said. That the Rishima, my original Rishima, I went to Bittul, I have a Rishima, and then I'm feeling the pain again, and then what happens? That Yisurim now was converted into Tzimoim, and there's something called Eschachus HaTorah. That's the end goal here. Eschachus HaTorah. Guess what? You go through all the Yisurim, and then what? Rebbe doesn't say. Then the Baal HaSoda is a state Soifim, and he's Mesakin Yitfil. Which, by the way, I must show you this, because this, if we get to this, and at the end, I think you're going to jump and dance. Mamish, because I jumped and danced, so I'm hoping that I'll be able to give it in a way that you should see the same. And I left you this as a voice note? I left it to somebody as a voice note. The Rebbe says in the end of Sif Daled, you have to see it inside. V'abala Soda, after you go through the whole mechanics. Remesha, what are you doing back here? I thought you're an Erev Ram.
You're allowed to transfer from one to the other.
Yes, you are. By the way, I have a guy today from Far Rockaway that he came to Borough Park, and I didn't do the Kollel in Borough Park because there was no tzimayim, and I said, there's no tzimayim, I'm not doing it. In other words, I'm doing it. This is not about making a Kollel. This is about learning Likutei Moharan. And memela, you need money, got it. But if it's about a Kollel, and you guys, and it's my home, that's where I want to make it. It's the easiest place for me to go to. I really like the shul. I grew up in that shul. So I told him, Knas is that you better show me tzimayim for Rosh Chodesh Kislev, otherwise I'm not doing Rosh Chodesh Kislev either. It has to. By now, if you already got into this, you should want it. If you don't want it, then I'm not. We want. We have what to sell. We're already confident with what we're selling. Anyway, so so I was saying, so a guy called me. You said about going from Kollel to Kollel. So a guy from Faraka called me. He wanted to go. He has a simcha. He's going to Borough Park. Yeah. So I told him, even though there's no Kollel now in Borough Park, you go to Borough Park, you get paid. Because where he's coming from is very nice. Anyway, so the Rebbe says here, and this is another question that I want. Ba'al Soda, after the whole mechanics, the Ba'al Soda gets the state. So he's able to see into every individual. If he's close to the tachlis, one second. Are we talking about the same person, or we're talking about two people? When he gets a state seifim, and now he's able to see into you, who is he seeing? Everybody, kol echad v'echad, all the individuals. So now he sees who's close and who's far, or is it the same person that's close and far? From the lashon, it doesn't make sense. Look at kesheroya be'echad. I'm sorry. First, yochel l'stak b'chol echad v'echad imu karvel atachlis. So, are we talking about the same person? No, it sounds like he's talking about two different people. As I ain't philosoi, adayim b'shleimus korah. Adayim b'shleimus korah means like he's almost there, but he doesn't have shleimus. One second, if he's rochek ma'atachlis, then it's, what do you mean? It's adayim b'shleimus korah. It's not like he's not almost there, he's rochek. So what is he? Is he rochek or is he a korah? So this sif, I went over it multiple times, and I broke my head. I could not figure it out. So I left it, and now I think that something at the end is something beautiful. But let's try to get to the place. So now a third thing that the Rebbe is talking about is hischadshus haTorah. So I was actually listening to Mati Gottlieb said a shir in Erev Ram in English. Were you there? It was last week. When did you come? So it was last week. So I was listening to this shir, and Mati said a very interesting way of. I have, by the way, 2 tips on learning the Torah B'in. One I may have mentioned before. One I heard from Mati Gottlieb, and I like it very much. He says when you're learning the Torah, usually the Rebbe he tries to take all the things that are positive and align them on like one side of a board. Ki'ilu, you're making a board or a piece of paper, and all the negative and put it on the other side. And then whatever the Rebbe says about this nakuda that's positive, you'll find it in the next nakuda that's positive, and there's got to be a connection between all the positives and all the negatives. And it's a very good way to connect the Minei Ubei between the Sifim to see, like in this Torah, it seems like the Rebbe is talking about 4 things that don't really have a shaykhs, and he's trying to kvetch in a shaykhs, the Sada and the Bala Sada, and then the Dibur Atfila, and then the Echad of Yisurim, and then the Bittul and the Rishima, and the Vayom Boyaz Aruz, and now it's all one big chunk. There's much more depth to it, and the way to discover it is by going. That's one tip. Second tip that I did, and I think it's Gavaldi, is to do the Torah backwards. Instead of going from Sif Aleph to Sif Beis, to Sif, obviously after you did the Torah many times, one way, go backwards. And I'm telling you, it's a tip. I'm telling you, I think that you start to discover things the other way, from looking it from the Bittul Rishima, back to the Echad of Yisurim, back to the Echad of the Dibur, back to the Sada. you're going to see things that you didn't see this way, that you see it that way. What?
You're doing the echad. That's exactly.
Yeah, so it's Imam making effort. So I'm stumped. These are two tips. What?
It actually works out there.
So I'm going to tell you, so this worked for me, and I was mechaven, me and Mati, that shir came from a shir that we did together. So we were, and today something hit me even more on that thing. So again, the Rebbe is there in the if you do the positive things, is Chachas HaTorah. First of all, is the Rebbe mean is Chachas HaTorah a new pshat and Tosfos? What does it mean? What does he mean by Chachas HaTorah? New pshat in the Rambam, a new pshat in Daf Yomi. What does he mean by Chachas HaTorah?
Go to the Tzumoin, because it's the anecdote to the Tzumoin, right? You have the Tzumoin.
Right. And this is extinguishing the Tzimon.
Right.
So what extinguishes the Tzimon?
What's the quality that you need?
So what is this Chachas HaTorah? What? Okay. By the way, I'm not making. It sounds like I'm belittling the pshat and the Rambam. Chas v'shom. I'm not saying that in any way. It's zichud that's his Chachas HaTorah also, and that also comes from it. I'm not chas v'shom saying, but it can't be, because I have to see it. It can't be something that's hidden. It has to be something that really works, because if that's the end goal of my whole avodah, then it has to be something that's really rewarding, that I actually feel, because I feel my yisurim. So this Chachas HaTorah has to quench my thirst. If that's the process, it has to quench my thirst. So what is this Chachas HaTorah? And question one. Question two is, what's the connection between his Chachas HaTorah, Gedalim, and Echad? What?
I heard it says that he said that Iker's Chachas HaTorah is when a person learns, that every single person has their own unique way that they digest information. And when a person looks at it from his Tchunas HaNefesh, it's not shtelling to somebody else's Tchunas HaNefesh, but is looking at it from his perspective, and he's bringing out that chiluk of his neshama, and that's Iker Chachas HaTorah.
Givaldi. So but I didn't do it. The first time I found it in Likutei Moharan. So it doesn't mean that it's all one Torah, but I'm just saying it's all echad. It's all echad. But I found it in Likutei Moharan. Okay, so but before we come to you said two things. Let's go to one more question, and let's see if we can bring this all together. The Rebbe talks about the Diburei Tefillah, that there are two motions in the Diburei Tefillah. There's a motion of Melaket. כשמדבר דיבורי התפילה, is כאדם שהולך בסודה, ומלאקת ציצים ושושנים ופרוחים, and he's...
Sounds like he's echad.
Say again?
It looks like he's already echad. He's making kibbutz and he's taking it all, he's keeping it all together the whole time. That's what it looked like.
Okay, very good. You're saying good, but it's not where I'm going now, but I don't disagree with you. If in short, the way I feel is that the Rebbe is telling you that you're melakit from the Sodas al Yonis, and that's the Seichel, that's the Riyah that's going into the Sodas al Yonis, that the Mayach can't get, and that's the Rishima that comes in and goes into the Nefesh, and then it goes out in Dibur, and then it says, Al Yispar mi mani do. That's just to answer your thing. In other words, that the two motions are happening, and that's the Nasa v'Nishma, because the Rebbe says that the Yotzar Diba Hashmeya Oznocha Mashat Hamatzim Mipicha.
That's one of the weirdest things on Torah,
what?
by the way.
Yeah.
The Dibur goes out of the Nefesh, but then the Nefesh is not holding by the Dibur.
So there's a Maritik Akasha to that. If the Nasa really Nasa v'Nishma means, where's the Nasa v'Nishma and the Dibur? Okay, we're getting off on a tangent, but where's the Nasa v'Nishma and the Dibur? The Nasa is the Dibur. What's even though the Gemara says that's a Dibur is ein boy ma'aser, lav she'ein boy ma'aser, but the Nasa is the Dibur. In this pretense, the Nasa is the Dibur Atfilah, and the Nishma is the Shmei Lo Oznachom Asher Tamotzim Mipicha. But the problem is that the Nishma is after the Nasa, because I need the Dibur to go out in order for me to get the Soy Bazoi. It doesn't stem with the Nasa and Nishma. It's going to take us to a whole different venue, because there's Torah on this, but it's a Maridik Kasha. Leave it with the Kasha, but this Kasha, I don't know how to fit it into where I want to go there. But the Rebbe says the second motion. So 1 second. So what in the second motion, when the Dibur leaves, when the Dibur is Yoitza, the Yoitza Dibur, So every ice is, the Rebbe is telling you, every ice is begging al yisparad men migoydel roi va'avosoi chukosoi that ba'ata yoidea ziv. I mean, the most romantic piece in the whole Likutei Moharan, probably, with the Dibur and the Nefesh, the dialogue that's happening over here. And then they say to you, the Dibur says to you, but I know you have to go weiter, but don't forget me. Why is the Dibur itself telling me to go weiter? If the Dibur doesn't want me, this is Mati Gottlieb's question, I think it's eyes in the question. If the Dibur wants me so badly, why is he advising me to go weiter? Why would he be telling me to go weiter? Tell me I miss you, I want you, and would you tell? I mean, they go to relationships. Would you tell? Yeah, don't leave me, but I understand. You go date somebody else. It doesn't make sense.
A wife will tell her husband, I know you have to go on a business trip.
Uman,
Don't forget about
It's not a
me.
business trip.
Not a business trip, yeah.
It's leaving.
You're going to, right, exactly.
Mom is going to the next flower. You're going to the next neshama. If you say the neshamas are the flowers and the thing. But why would the Dibur?
It sounds like they're working together.
Why would the Dibur say such a thing? So I'm going to tell you what Mati said, and he built this, and I love it. What?
That Dibur Alein also gets the shlemus from our shlomo of the whole thing.
That Dibur, these guys are on fire. You're on fire, by the way. You're on fire. That's a terrorist. Yeah. That's a terrorist. But I wanted to. So anyway, so Mati said the following, and then I'll tell you what hit me from the thing, and I think it's mamish. It's an opening portal to the connection of the whole Torah. But before we go there, you have to go to the beginning of the Torah, where the Rebbe talks about the beauty of the Sada. The Goydel Yefei. The Rebbe keeps talking about the beauty, and even when he talks about the Tzitzim and Prochim, he talks about the beauty. What is the Rebbe telling me? What's this beauty? What is the beauty here? And like that's really the whole Sada. You know, the Goydel, the Daki Yesh Sada, and the Sada is so beautiful. Yesh Lasapa Ashrei Ayin Ras. So he said like this. I hope I'm repeating it properly, Moshe. Since you heard it, you'll correct me if I'm wrong. Okay? So he said like this. He said that the flower, when you make the florist, when you go into the florist, when the florist makes an arrangement, the florist sees the bouquet finished, and they're picking out the flower that's going to go to the next flower that's going to make the whole arrangement beautiful. So every flower that's added, the Rebbe says achas la'achas. Every time you take a flower, now you're adding the flower. So this flower is telling you, make me more beautiful. This flower is telling you, me, if you don't leave me, but if you're gonna leave me and make me more beautiful. Because now you're gonna add a carnation to it, and now you're gonna add on top of that, different flowers, and then what you're doing is you're adding to my beauty. And maybe perhaps that is why the Rebbe says Ashrei Ayin Rasa Zois, because there's no end. Because every flower, every neshama that comes back into the Zada is changing the picture of the whole Zada. It's adding a whole new dynamic that wasn't there before. That by the time Dibur comes, it's gone already. You can't describe it. Only Ashrei Ayin Rasa Zois. And only when you recognize that it's an addition to me, and it is. And so, what is it? What is it again? So, what is the Rebbe saying here? Echad. That is the echad that we make when the Adam is hoilach basada, and they're making one bouquet, and then they make another bouquet, like it seems like it's something else. Umechabram yachad, and then he puts them together, the two bouquets, and that's where he makes echad. So now we could understand, back to your original question of how do I make echad for my tefillah. So the understanding is that if I'm mechaven in my davening and I'm in gvurus, I'm adding to the avos. As long as I'm keeping up and I'm being makir the beauty of the flowers, I'm adding to my avos. I don't have to think about avos. It's impossible for me to think about avos. But the Bala Soda, The Baal HaSada, he's able to not just make avos and gvur, but he's talking, it's all one. By him, he sees the whole Sada. He's the Baal HaSada, so he has all the flowers of the Sada, everything in the Sada. By him, it's all one Sada. By us, we're talking making from our dibur lefi what we can do. And then the Baal HaSada is empowered with the state Soifim, and he's able to take all those tefillas that we weren't mechavel, all the state boichim that we made, that we caused because we have neshamas arumas that are outside the field, because how many times did we say to the Buren Tefillah we were in Miami Beach or in worse places? So what happens to all those tefillah? I need to get echad. Don't worry, Zok the Rebbe. That the Baal HaSada is going to do. So he said, and then he said like this. So he said that Kim Toy says that now let's talk about this Chachas HaTorah. So this is what you said. What's your name again? I'm very bad with names. I keep forgetting. You have to remind me 10 times. But until it hits me, first name. Shloim Avers. Very Mietz Hashem.
Why are the neshamas arumas tefillas?
If you say that we're all about a Sada, what is my Sada? My Dibura Tefillah is my Sada.
How can I see all my tefillas?
What?
What does that mean?
You can't. You let go. They were crying. So I want to say this is my word, and I don't know if it's emes. So I'm saying perhaps, please, on the thing. But I said like this: if the mechanics work, that Yisurim gets converted to Tzimayim through Bittul. So when I'm not going to Bittul, what's the opposite of Bittul? What's the opposite of going to the place of Kulei Yachad? It's Chazud HaYalma. So if I'm going to drugs, my other drugs, right? I'm going to Chazud HaYalma. So then the Tzimayim become what? Yisurim. It goes backwards. If it goes this way and it turns into Tzimayim, that when I don't listen to my tefillah, or I don't daven, or whatever it is, and my neshamas arumas mechutz my sada, so they become Yisurim, and that's what makes. The Rebbe says two things. He says Choytchen is Ever in Siv Gimel, and in Siv Dalid when he says Vayim Abayis Oruz, he talks about the Nigeh Levilti Noger. He says Nigeh Nefesh. So again, my own thing. I'm not saying this thing that perhaps the Nigeh Nefesh is the Nefesh. Who's the Nefesh? The Nefesh is the Dibur. All these Diburim that I didn't listen to. If I listen to them, then those Nigeh Nefesh will come. In other words, it graduates, and it graduates the other way, and it goes down to Yisurim to Misa. That's what the Rebbe brings Misa a few times in the Torah. In other words, that's the highest level of Yisurim. There's Yisurim, and you see that by the Baal HaSada, which the Rebbe is talking about the big Baal HaSada, but he also means every Baal HaSada. There's a Baal HaSada that's able to conquer, and then there's a Baal HaSada that even only through Misa is able to conquer, and then there's a Baal HaSada that even when his Misa he's not able to conquer. Why? Because these neshamas, these Diburei Atfilah, all fell out to a place that he wasn't able to be misakin, unless he did Oyser Ritzayin Shamakim. And what's the Ritzayin Shamakim that he's doing? That he's going to the place of Bittul. The place, you're going to say Bittul? Bittel's too high of an avodah for me. The Rebbe says, no, everybody goes to Bittul. Every human being in the world goes to Bittul, because every time you close your eyes, when you're getting a shot by the doctor, or that you're feeling pain, you went to Bittul. So what's missing? Das. Consciousness. Awareness. If you attach awareness to the place that you're going to anyway, the Rebbe says, guess what? You know what's going to happen? You're going to start going to the place of Kulei Tov, and it's Nismala Simcha. You're going to come to the, when you're going to, so you're not going to feel, how many times do we get distracted from our whatever pain? We go to a chasana, we go to a thing, and we're talking in a good way. Or you're learning a shtickle Likutei Moharan, and your mom is living, and all, you forget about the world, because why? Because you went to the place of Kulei Tov, Kulei Echad. Then all of a sudden you close the Likutei Moharan, you come back, and your wife, yeah, right, you get a shmachtel, whoever's married over here, or whatever other thing, and then you just get the Yisurim are even more intensified. Right? I forgot about that. Right now you have a double Yisurim. You know what? I want to say the part of the Yisurim is that I tasted the delight of goodness, and now I'm not there anymore. So you have Yisurim of your original Yisurim, and on top of that you have the Yisurim of I'm not there anymore. And not only I'm not there anymore, I don't think I could ever do that again. It was a gift. Happened one time in my life by the Rebbe Sin, in Meron, by the Kollel Maravi. I'll never get to that place again. And you go into the Yish place. And then again, you're letting go of the consciousness, the das, of the place of Kulei Tov, Kulei Echad. And then you convert it into Tzimon. And what happens is Chachas HaTorah. What he said before, which is beautiful. And it goes together with the Oisis HaDibur. Like you said before, the Reshima is when I listen to my Dibur. How does the Bittul and Reshima work over there? When I listen, my nishma, when I hear, I'm listening to the Dibur and I'm saying, okay, I'm going to still be Machavan and I'm going to make you more beautiful, even though I can't remember you. I'm going to remember you by adding to you, by making more unity, making you and Baruch and Ato together, and then Ato and Hashem together, and Gvuras and Avos together. How am I doing that together? By adding to you, I'm adding to the unification, and that unification doesn't stop. So that's the Chachas HaTorah. His Chachas HaTorah means I'm being mechadish. There's a renewal, and it's also the gedalim that everything is growing, because growth is when I grow and I add to myself something. I elevated myself. I got bigger. So the Rebbe tells you that the whole tachlis of the Yisurim is two reasons. Either sheyoshev, that person should do tshuva, or lemarik avoid noisav. So 1 second, stop. Practically, do you understand that? I'm in pain. I know you're going to answer already. You're going to tell me why. Yes, but go into the question. The question is, yeah. So tell me, you're going to give me pain. So at the end of the day, it's going to be good. It's hard. I don't care who you are. Pain is pain. If it's dynamis or is it toiva meitiv right now? What am I making a bracha? Am I saying dynamis or am I making a toiva meitiv? So it's that means, but the Rebbe is telling you something else. He's telling you that you could convert the pain into yearning. You could convert the pain into thirst. And you know how you do that? Because you're right. You're not in learning Likutei Moharan right now. You're not in Meron. You're not at the cousin. You're with your wife. But now you're going to deher. Your first reaction is going to be hitnagdut. You know what hitnagdut means? Resentment to the thing. What do you mean? I just fixed myself. I just went to bittul. Your automatic reaction is going to be to fight it. The Rebbe says it's like two people fighting with each other. And now you got a punch, and now you're going to go back. That's the resentment. Who's fighting? You yourself are fighting with yourself. You're fighting. The Rebbe says, don't worry. Hold on. Just hold on. Don't react. Hold on to the Reshima, and then you're going to get melichus, which is going to give you thirst, and you're going to get neschadish. You're going to grow from pain. You're going to grow to another level that's going to elevate you. So now I see with Dibur and Yisurim are mamish one. That the Yisurim are caused by the Diburim, by my Diburi Atfilah that I didn't listen to. That's where the Yisurim, because that's the Nigga Nefesh, because the Nefesh is the Dibur, and the Dibur is the Nefesh, and Memela is going to the thing. And B, because my whole tachlis here is to go to the place of bittul, which is coming from the only way that I can do it in Geder Anushi, the Rebbe says. The only way I can do it in the place of Reshima is the place of Dibur. Can Dibur be Lamala Megeder Anushi? No, there is no Dibur Lamala. A Malach doesn't talk. There is no talking by me. Dibur is something that's only in this world. It's the most ruchniistic thing in this world, but it's not. It's something that's only in this world. In the other world, in the Sada, there is no Dibur. So I'm taking the likut from the Sada Salyonis, I'm bringing it down into the Reshima over here of this world, the Dibur that I'm saying out from this world, and that's the Nefesh, that's the Nigga Nefesh. So if I listen to them, and I continue to make echad from them, Gevaldi. So now I'm elevating myself, so it stays Nigga Nefesh, or even if it's Yisurim and Dvarim Kashim, it doesn't make a difference. I'm elevated, it doesn't make a difference what the result is. But if I'm not, then I'm dying. I'm spiritually dying. Even if I'm not mamish dying, I come to Misa because I'm letting all these neshamas arumas go out of my sada, and I don't have it. The Rebbe is giving you advice and telling you, if you make echad from your tefillah and you make echad from your dibur, you're going to fix your sada to the best of your ability. All these neshamas arumas that are all outside the sada, don't worry, that the Bala Sada is going to fix through the Inyan of the state Sefer. Oh. So now let's go back to that thing inside, if you don't mind. So we connected the Gedalia Maishi. Did I say it right? Yeah, we connected the Gedalim, the Schadus HaTorah, and the Echad. And the Echad. So I want to just tell you, this is the thing that hit me today, that I just think it's like, I hope we dance. V'abala soda hanal, k'she'einav me'iras b'b'chinas state Sefer, azay yochol l'stakel b'chol echad ve'echad. So what is the pashas over here? That we learn that the Baal Soda, now that we went through all these mechanics, the Baal Soda is empowered to be able to see in every individual. And then we said it's shver how the lashon goes over here. No, I'm waiting for someone to say this before I even say it, because based on the whole Hagdama over here, you ready? Maybe the Rebbe is saying something else. Babala soda now kishe'ena meiras b'chinas deit soivim azay yochol l'stakel b'chol echod ve'echod, in every one of my echods. The Bala Soda is able to look into my echod, and now he looks into my echods. He's talking about my tefillah, one person. He sees some echods are karev l'tachlis, some echods are rachek m'tachlis, and now it fits as I ain't tefillah adayim b'shleimus, because even though he went to echod, he still doesn't have his tefillah b'shleimus. Ki ein yochel las echod mikol hatefillah, k'she'oimed b'soif hateva, shecheach tchilas hateva. Because even though Teva, the Rebbe said, is not the oasis, that each flower is an individual, and each Teva is its own bouquet. So the Rebbe is telling you, so even though you made one echad from Baruch, by the way, I heard a Ma'ir Gezach on Baruch. First of all, what do you say to this Baruch? I don't care what you say. I don't know if it's emes. It's danceable. You understand? This is something that gives simcha. This is something that's bittul, that you feel kulay toif, kulay echad. It's murder. I'm telling you, it's mamish murder. That in every echad, the Baal Soda's power in the state Seifim is in the echad. And when it's not echad, it's day beichim. But when you do your job of making echad, you give him, enable him to see what's karv and what's the, and he brings it all together. And he brings all the echad together. So, I wanted to say one more word that someone told me. I forgot who told this to me. David, I forgot his last name, from Muncie. One of the guys in Muncie, he said like this. He said, Baruch, the Rebbe brings Baruch, right? That Baruch, the base, is begging for... So he said that Baruch is the Rosh Tevis, B'simcha Rabba, V'amru Chulam. And it's mamish the Torah. Because the Rebbe says that what happens, where is the Avodah? In the Bittul or in the Rishima? In the Rishima, in the Rotzi or in the Shoiv? In the Shoiv. What's in the Shoiv? What's the Rishima? The Simcha. Because the Simcha is the Keli to be Makabel the Torah. It's the Simcha Rabbah. In the Simcha Rabbah, V'amru Chulam, all my Diburim are going to be one. I don't care what you say. Even saying it over again, it's murderly. It's mamish, murderly. I told you, I don't know if it's emes, but it just seems like it fits, like it's mamish. Okay, so now I start to hear avodah. Now I mamish start to hear avodah every time. My Shemana Esra changed from this. Mamish, I'm telling you, changed. I have an avodah over here. My pain, my yisurim changing. Okay, I got to go through the process, and now it's feeling worse. It's not going. The deal's not going through. My wife's still not talking to me. My kids, yeah, all of that. Yeah, I get it. It's all connected. We're encountering this every moment, every second of the day. First of all, Bittul and Rishima is having every single second. Every second every time you close your eyes, we said it's blinking. It's happening all the time. But we're not aware of it. We're not conscious. Attach your consciousness, and then don't let the acceptance. The second part of the Yisurim is the acceptance, mamish therapy. Like always, the Rebbe is the biggest therapist. He's giving you mamish therapy, telling you, guess what? Your first thing is awareness, and your second thing is acceptance. And once you come to acceptance, you're going to be in this chadash. You use these two tools constantly, and you keep elevating to the Sada till you come to bring all the echad, and all the Sadas come together to the emes Sada, and that's the mission. The mission is to bring all the Sadas and everybody Techad that we should be united. Now we have a couple of minutes of...
What's Echad of the Tefillah? What's Echad of the Tefillah?
Echad of the Tefillah is that I'm being mechaven, not that I'm remembering Baruch.
Yeah, so
I'm adding to Baruch. Ata.
What does that mean?
Kavanah. In the lowest level, Kavanah. The Rebbe talks about it.
Because that way it's, I'm having
Kavanah. Can be mechaven. I'm being mechaven. That's the simplest thing.
I'm not just
Ata
like
Baruch.
trying to get the end
Blessed
of the word
is you, Ata. I'm not trying to remember Gvuras. All I'm doing is I'm adding more bittul. By the way, I believe that it's all bittul and reshima. Every ois is a bittul and reshima, right? Because we just said that every ois that goes out is coming back. Hashmei Eloznacha. So that means in Ator I have three oises. Even though I'm saying Ator like that, but Ator it has these three oises that are all going through this process of bittul and reshima the whole time. So I'm constantly going and adding, and I'm adding, and I'm adding, and I'm adding. As long as I'm adding, even if I can't remember, but I'm adding to the place of my nefesh, where I am, I'm adding to my connection of bittul, my connection to Rishima, and all this process, that's making up for my tefillah, even, and the rest, the Baal HaSodah. That, the Baal HaSodah, the Rebbe says that beferish. But Baal HaSodah, mistakel boy, that's another question. Mistakel boy, meviyah latachos. How does he bring it to the tachlis? What is that? What's the tachlis? So what? Magic? Zap you. The Baal HaSodah is going to zap you and he's going to bring you back to the tachlis. How does that work? No, I'm asking a question.
It's alignment.
What?
It's his job.
It's alignment. So what is the alignment? If we align with him, he has the power to overcome the yisurim that he has to go through in order to reach those neshamas arumas that are so far. He's able to go because he's on a state seifim. That's why it's state seifim. Bothered me the whole time. Why does the Rebbe say state seifim on the Baal HaSodah? It's the Baal HaSodah's seifim, not the state seifim. What if you looked up where state seifim is? What is state seifim? Bilam was, what does it say? He went up to the higher mountain. The Baal HaSodah has to go to such a high place to see so low. The only way he can come to see low is when he goes up higher. And the only way for him to go up higher is when we elevate ourselves and we align ourselves, and then that automatically brings the Baal HaSodah to a higher place to be able to take care of all our neshamas arumas, and there are many.
Why is that? How's Kavanah being malakis?
What?
You said Kavanah is the Avodah. How's that being malakis?
How's what being malakis?
Kavanah. Saying Avodah is the Kavanah. That's being malakis. That's going to get everything else.
The likud is coming from the seichel. The likud is not in the dibur, even though it doesn't stem with the words, because the Rebbe says kishemedaber dibur atfila or malakit. I don't. First of all, I don't know. Let me start. I don't know. Perhaps that the dibur, the likud, is not from the same sada. That it's clear that the Rebbe is talking about two sadas here, right? Are we agreement here? There's sadas alyonis and there's sadas tachtoinis. Are we in agreement? And there's a Baal HaSodah that, yeah, okay. Can I bring you 3 rayas to that? Okay. And when the Rebbe says the end of Siv Dalet, so the Rebbe says, "Al telchi lilkot." Read it. I want you to read it. Because the Rebbe says it beferish. I didn't make it up. Yeah. Kanal. What's kanal? What does it mean? Kanal means kaniska le'el. When did the Rebbe mean maskir sadas alyonis? Never. So that means that there is a sada beforehand that he's talking about sadas alyonis. Yes? Is there any word in Likutei Moharan that's not meduyik? No. Kanal means kaniska le'el. That's what it means. So that means when I talked about sada before somewhere, I was talking about sadas alyonis. And Rabbi Nachman in Kitzur Likutei Moharan brings in Sif Aleph beferish that when he talks about the sada, he calls it daki yesh sada. Misada, I don't remember exact lotion. You have to look in the Kitzur. Misada salyonis. So that means there is 2 sadas. Vadai. If there's an elyon, there has to be a tachton. If there's no tachton, it can't be an elyon. It can't be just an elyon. That means there's a sada elyon, there's a sada tachton. So then, what's the tachton? L'chayr, the tachton is my sada, and the elyon is the sada where we all come from, and where everybody's there.
Would you say Baal HaSodah? to the Baal HaSadah.
Because all the Sadas are really, that's what we're saying, it's Echad. Chocham. We have our Sada and it's all Echad. We're all part of that Sada. It's all, and he's the Baal HaSada. He's the one who makes Echad. The goal of the Torah is Echad. That's clear, right? Yeah.
Nachman, maybe the Yisurim is the disconnect between one Dibur to the next Dibur.
For sure, that's what we're saying. Because you're not listening to them. And it's Simoy. One second, it's Simoy. What are they saying? How you spurred me, man? Because that's Simoy, my friend. Is that not Simoy? So now you didn't listen. So that becomes Yisur. Because if Yisurim become Simoy, then Simoy become Yisur when you don't listen. I don't know. I think that this is a platform. I think we need to start the Torah again. And I told you, I'm telling you, go back. This came from being shver. This is where it started. This came from the shverkeit on this seat on the Baal HaSada. I couldn't. The language, it didn't make sense. And then when I heard, and I spoke to him. We did this before he gave the shir. So I spoke to him, and then afterwards I listened to his shir. By the way, I'm going to put it on the group chat. It's worth to listen. It's a little slow in the beginning, but it's worth to listen. He says it. I did not express it as good as he did. He expressed it better. But
each one after you practice this
I don't know if you're meeting the Baal HaSada physically, but the Baal HaSada spiritually, you're meeting the Baal HaSada. Yes. The Rebbe says beferish kishoyzer and tzoy shomoger adem bechinis teik doif.
The Baal HaSada himself, this recipe or whatever, this process is what got the Baal HaSada to become the Baal HaSada.
Vada. He went to such a high place that he kept going higher and higher, and he had to go through Stei Boichem. By the way, is Stei Tzoyfim and Stei Boichem two Sadas? Or is it the same Sada? It's a different status. And we all go through Stei Tzoyfim and Stei Boichem, right? We're going through different stages. L'chayra. I don't have a right to that, but it's a thought that maybe it's just different statuses based by the big Baal HaSada. It's based on everybody lower. It's similar to what we had in Torah Chafei. Anybody remember Torah Chafei? Torah Chafei, we had the Adam HaElyon and the Adam HaTachta, and who pushes up the Adam HaElyon? The Adam HaTachta, which means everything is totally the Adam HaTachta. Similar. The Rebbe is saying the same thing. If these neshamas are not making peiros, then the Baal HaSada is in the state boichem. As soon as we're Oyser and Tzonish Makom, we're making him to state tzayvim. So it's a different status in his Sada. In the one Sada, there is only one Sada. Be'emes, there is only one Sada because it's all Echad. But there's a separation. This is what Mati said. One more thing. That the whole Torah is based on the Pirud and the Echad. That's what we're here. That's our avodah. Our avodah is everything is separated in this world. Chazuda hayalma is separation. Bittul is echad. That we know, but we can't stay in echad because we can't stay over there. So we have to take from that echad and make the rishim and make echad in hayalma, in the shah.
But a human being has a dibur. So every single dibur there's a separation because he's a human being. He's in this world.
Right.
The whole avoid of the Torah
is only dibur. Is only through the human being. Only migeder enushi. If you're yotze migeder enushi, done. Bye bye. You're on a different. You're on a different plateau.
The diburim which are an expression of a human, which is mimela, something that's separated, and then to bring them back.
Yes. Through the mamish. So it's mamish hainu hach. The dibur tefillin, the yisurim are really, really one, and the echad is really one. The whole sada is echad. So Aleph, Beis, Gimel, Dalet are all of a sudden. It's mamish coming together. There's an echad here. There's mamish echad here in the thing.